In June 2010, Potterheads everywhere rejoiced when the world of Hogwarts came to life in sunny Florida, with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter theme park. Opening day saw a record number of tourists, with robes and wands descending on Orlando. Fans rejoiced that they could now walk the halls of Hogwarts in the streets of Diagon Alley. But above all else, the biggest story to come out of the theme park was Butterbeer, the fictional drink ripped straight from the pages. Finally, readers no longer had to imagine what the drink tasted like. The response was overwhelming, with every major Harry Potter blogger going wild for the drink. So what does this real-life representation of a fictional beverage say about the fans' personal role in evolving the genre of fantasy itself? In just under 2 years of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opening, over 5 million mugs of Butterbeer were sold. The recipe for Butterbeer was created in collaboration with J.K. Rowling, but was primarily the brainchild of Universal Studios executive chef Steve Jason. Steve Jason approached the creation of Butterbeer with a sense of wonder and a desire to create a magical beverage. Jason, who had never read a Harry Potter book or seen one of the films, notes in an interview with Bon Appetit magazine, "We wanted to make something that would feel mystical and whimsical and magical, but that also resembled a beer, with a beautiful base, amber color, and creamy top. It had to taste unfamiliar, yet soothing and smooth." And Butterbeer managed to achieve all of those things. Jason notes that he's seen numerous people cry after taking their first sip. The reason for this overwhelming emotion comes from the main reason that the park is so popular. It's about the tremendous association with seeing a world you've only dreamed of, standing right there in front of you. This is the basis for the transition from immersion to engrossment. For example, imagining yourself in this physical world as you flip through the pages of the book. From here, a shift can happen in the mind of the reader. They shift from simply reading the book to becoming a die-hard fan. This is someone who creates fan fiction, cosplays as the characters, or seeks out merchandise related to the book. Their identity becomes tied to the series. This shift, known as engrossment, is what leads to fantasy series becoming cultural phenomenons and bringing places like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter into existence. The most successful works make this transition happen subconsciously. In the simplest words, fantasy is world building, and the best world building is that which encourages fans to establish a fan culture, thus bringing the fictionalized world to life. And fan culture is built off of expressions of fandom, like fan fiction, fan art, conventions, online discussions, video essays, and pretty much anything else you can name. And while Harry Potter fans are truly lucky to have creator-approved, real-life versions of fictional objects or places, that hasn't stopped fans of other major fantasy works from bringing these books to life themselves. The amount of fan-made items that can be found online is staggering. Take the Mortal Instruments series. The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare has an overwhelming amount of cosplay items, fan fiction, and fan art online. A quick search of fanfiction.net reveals that there are nearly 1,000 fan-created stories related to the Mortal Instruments and its spin-off Shadowhunters on the site. This is almost as much as Game of Thrones fanfiction, which is impressive, as the Mortal Instruments series has only received a film adaptation and a TV show based on the Shadowhunters books. The mainstream knowledge of the Mortal Instruments is far less. And yet, die-hard fans want to see the series live beyond the pages of the books. This is common with any fantasy work that has a hardcore fandom. And it's not just fan fiction. If the book has an iconic weapon, piece of jewelry, or anything else that can be made, you know that any self-respecting fantasy lover will be there with their replica on Etsy. Just imagine an economy born solely on fan-made wands, jewelry, and super cute stuffed animals. Ultimately, fantasy and the power of world building has the potential of creating subcultures with their own economies, languages, and styles that exist both online and in person. While some of these exist on a smaller scale, occasionally these subcultures are adopted by major corporations who have the resources to bring these worlds to life in ways that fans never thought possible. Steve Jason saw this firsthand on the opening day of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. He recounts, There were 38,000 people waiting to come into the park. We couldn't keep up with the demand for Butterbeer. So I ended up taking one of the barrels from inside the 3 broomsticks, rolling it out in the middle of the street and having a server sell Butterbeer right off the barrel for cash only. She literally sold thousands of them. And while some of those people most likely expressed their fandom in fan fiction, cosplay, conventions, and replica wands and robes, some had experienced that shift from immersion to engrossment for the first time. These fans would go on to help bring the worlds of their favorite books to life, either through a place like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, or through fan festivals, cosplay, fan fiction. By the sheer will of the fandom, these fictionalized worlds are brought to life. And within that shift from immersion to engrossment, the work of fiction is adopted by the fans. Books no longer solely belong to the author. For fans, these works can live on after the series is completed. Some in the form of theme parks, and others in the form of fan-created work. And for fans of these books, it's not work for them. It's a loving effort to keep these things alive. And you rarely see that in any genre other than fantasy. Fantasy can transport people to amazing worlds, but the funny thing is that fans can take those worlds and transport just a small sliver of them into real life. And that is truly amazing. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below how you've expressed your fandom. Share your fan art, cosplay, and fan fiction. Also, let us know what fictional world would be the perfect setting for a theme park. Our vote is Game of Thrones.